Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome to my channel. Today, I am going to talk all about Delusional, or as you may know her, Janelle Evans, and the latest reports about her separation case being dismissed in August of 2024. So let's get into it. So the U.S. Sun just released an article breaking down Delusional and Swampmates' divorce dismissal 1 year after she filed for separation in North Carolina court. So let's read the article. It says, teen mom Delusional and Swampmates' divorce case has been dismissed 1 year after she filed for separation in North Carolina court. The U.S. Sun has exclusively obtained Delusional's notice of voluntary dismissal of her divorce from bed and board. So she filed for divorce from bed and board back in February 2024. And it goes on to say, according to the Rosen law firm in North Carolina, a divorce from bed and board is filed when one party believes the other spouse has committed a marital fault, including abandonment of the family, treating a spouse in such a cruel or barbarous way that it endangers his or her life, or adultery. Well, the kids were treated in a cruel and barbarous way, but that wasn't just from Swampmates, because it's also from Delusional, who still has custody of said kids, which is just terrifying. A person can also file for divorce from bed and board when they fear their estranged spouse will try to remove them from the family home. I don't know why she even went this route for the divorce, but I have a feeling that there was no merit to her claims, which is why it was dismissed. But let's keep going. This could be why Delusional made the specific filing, as she once said of Swampmates. Neither of us wanted to leave, so whenever I had the window of opportunity that I was about to file for separation, I filed something called separation by bed and board. Meanwhile, her case against Swampmates for custody and child support for their 8-year-old daughter Inslee, as well as her request for an equitable division of assets, are all ongoing. Inslee just also celebrated her birthday, and when I looked at the pictures that Delusional posted, the thing that stuck out to me was how uncomfortable Inslee is, especially in the picture of her and Delusional. But I just feel really bad for those kids because I think that they all front for the cameras because that's what she wants them to do. And from my sources, it basically is exactly what I'm saying. She wants to show them off for the camera. She wants to present this image out there. But really, behind the scenes or off camera, it's like, fuck off, go away, leave me alone. Why are you bothering me? Type of vibe. And if you have caught on to her and how she is, then you know that that is not a stretch of truth whatsoever. That really is how she parents those kids behind closed doors. Anyways, though, a court clerk told the U.S. Sun the divorce from bed and board was voluntarily dismissed in August. Not her boyfriend or ex-boyfriend August, but the month of August. However, the matter of child support, custody, and equitable distribution is still open. It's not totally clear why Delusional's divorce from bed and board was dismissed. But Delusional did move out of the family's former North Carolina home last year and officially relocated to Las Vegas. For now. I mean, her and her boyfriend broke up. Who knows where she's going to go and take them kids off to now. Swampmates also appears to have permanently moved out of the home. So their house on the swamp or the land or whatever is just sitting there with nobody in it. It's completely unoccupied. But she filed for divorce from bed and board. All to abandon the property. You know, okay. Anyways, the estranged spouses are still separated and currently do not appear to have reconciled. I still believe that they might, though. I truly, truly do. I'm still of the thought that they have done this because of his attempted strangulation on Jace in that case. and because he couldn't be around Jace, but yet she wants to fight for custody of her kids to keep them living in misery with her. So she can't have him living with her. So they obviously had to separate. Even though they tried to, like, do that slick shit with that attempted break-in. I don't know why I wanted to say robbery, but attempted break-in almost a year ago. And the reason why I say that is because the loophole for that was that the police allowed Swampass to be back in the house with them. Even though he was not supposed to be around Jace, what Delusional said was that the police officer wanted her to have somebody else in the house with her. So then she was safe. And the only person that she could have was Swampass, even though he technically wasn't supposed to be there. So to me, I am still of the mind that this is all a distraction, and that whenever everything is done with the case with Jace and Swampass, which I'm about to give you guys an update on that as well. But I feel that once that is all said and done with, because I'm still of the mind that they are going to blame Jace and his anger. And considering there have been 911 calls from Delusional and talking about how Jace has destroyed stuff in her house, sources have come to me about how he has treated the dog, the Irish Doodle, in that home. I'm terrified for that dog. And I've already pointed out, if you haven't seen any of my videos on TikTok about Delusional, I've already pointed out that that dog looks very uncomfortable and untrusting with Delusional. And then when I found out how that dog's being treated, I understood why the dog's body language is what it's like in her content. And I also know that he had to go to the groomer because, you know, anytime that she's posting something, it's basically for her to, like, have documentation to try to rewrite history and to try to manipulate people into believing whatever her story is. So the dog had to go to the groomers, and she was like, oh, yeah, he just got a fresh haircut, blah, blah, blah. But then she had all these sad faces. I'm pretty sure that she was neglecting that dog, not getting him groomed like he should have been, and he probably was full of mats and other things, and I just don't know how she even has animals in her care. How is she not, like, on some banned list of animals after her whole history with owning pets? It's mind-blowing to me. Because she should be on some national registry of, like, do not sell a pet to this person. Although there are loopholes around that, and Lord knows she would know how to do those loopholes like she does everything else. But seeing this, that the divorce board and bed and board was dismissed, and I'm gonna assume by a judge. I'm not thinking that this was Delusional that dismissed the case. I'm gonna assume that it was because there was nothing credible of what she was claiming for filing for a divorce that way. So I have a feeling that she's gonna have to start all over again and actually go through a different process. If she does choose to actually leave him, I mean, I don't know. I really think that they would end up still together because they are so similar. And I know that he's with Kinley, and right now I think that she's just collateral damage in it. She's probably really into it, and from what I've seen, she's really into it. But as soon as everything is said and done with the court stuff, I think that he's going to go back to Delusional, and they're going to be together, and they're going to gaslight everybody, and they're going to be like, we never separated. What are you talking about? He never dated Kinley. I never dated August. None of that ever happened. You guys are just brainwashed by the media because they've done it before. So since I've shared my thought and theory that they are going to get back together after everything is said and done with their court cases, the Ashley just gave an update on January 28th. Just the other day, on Swampass's child abuse court case, when he'll go to court for allegedly strangling Delusional's son, Jace. And it says, it's been over a year since Swampass was charged with felony assault by strangulation for allegedly assaulting Delusional's son, Jace. And now the fired Teen Mom 2 dad is about to head to court to face a judge. The Ashley can exclusively reveal that Swampass is due in court next week to answer for the strangulation charge. I will be giving an update because y'all know and maybe you don't know, but I've been following this since the very, very beginning because I don't think that he's going to get much punishment from this. I really believe that they're going to throw Jace under the bus and use his mental health and his anger as an excuse for why Swamp Ass put his hands on Jace that day. That's my theory. But anyways, the Ashley can exclusively reveal that he is set to appear next week in the charge in court for the strangulation charge that happened in September 2023. They didn't give the exact date, but I want to say it was like September 29th or 30th of 2023. According to court records obtained by the Ashley, Swamp Ass is scheduled for a non-jury criminal court hearing in Superior Court on February 4th. According to the CDM calendar, Swamp Ass's hearing is listed as the final one, so he will be required to be present. So they're saying he's not going to be able to get out of this one. That's what they're claiming. But we'll see. The Ashley can exclusively... God damn it, Tiffany. I just read that. Okay, unless disposed of earlier, each felony case shall be calendared for a minimum of 2 specific case management week settings following the initiation date. The North Carolina court website states, the first hearing happened last year, which is why next week's hearing is listed as the final one. Per the North Carolina regulations, various things will be accomplished at this hearing, including confirmation that the state has filed its disclosure certificate, and Swamp Ass has provided his discovery, if applicable. Pre-arraignment motions will also be heard, and then plea negotiations, I cannot read. There's something wrong with me. Plea negotiations will be discussed between the state and Swamp Ass. Deadlines for the filing of all remaining pretrial motions will be set, and a pretrial motions hearing date will be scheduled. Finally, a trial date will likely be scheduled. In the time since the Ashley's last update on this case, Swamp Ass has been assigned a public defender. Interestingly, it's the same public defender he was assigned to for his other pending criminal case for trespassing and violating Delusional's protective order against him, which I think that she is just doing whatever she can to press charges against him and be petty because she wasn't even on the land, and neither were her kids, and he did bring an officer with him because he wanted to get some of his stuff. Although, I'm sure it was not on the date that was agreed upon. But regardless, she's just being petty and trying to add more charges against him when she should really be more concerned about herself, because while she has been doing all of this, and Swamp Ass has been in North Carolina, she's over in Las Vegas doing the most, having 911 calls, having non-emergency phone calls, because she's realized that the non-emergency phone calls will not be leaked out like the 911. So now, like when Kaiser was just recently robbed of his money and his bike at a park, they did not call 911 when that took place. They called the non-emergency police department because, again, like I said, they don't want the 911 calls leaked like they already have been. She's got to try to play her role as doing well and not having any issues, and it's not her when really it's you. The problems are going to follow you wherever you go because you're the common denominator. But anywho, like I was trying to say though, is that she wasn't even on the property when Swamp Ass showed up. And so I think that she's just doing what she can to be petty. You know, she also likes to be in court so she can leave her kids behind and not have to hassle with being a parent. She just recently left her kids to go on a little solo vacation. You know, probably because she's just so heartbroken that her and August broke up. And then she's like posting all this stuff. Like, girl, we don't need to hear you boo-hoo talking about that he cheated on you when word on the curb is that you were the other woman, not her. Then you're going to share, like, try to lip sync, which she's terrible at lip syncing. Like, seriously, girl, I don't know why you feel so confident posting when your mouth doesn't even match the words, but you're going to use Cardi B's through your phone. Cardi don't want you singing her song. Especially because it don't apply to you. It don't apply to you. But anyways, I just got off track. So after Swampmates was charged with child abuse in October 2023, Delusional hired and paid for attorneys William and Tara Gore to defend Swampmates because she was saying that he's done nothing wrong. Her kids are safe with him. He loves her kids. He takes care of her kids. This is a misunderstanding, blah, da, 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 da. So yeah, she was like buying or paying for attorneys for him, which is funny because in her bed and board divorce claims, she like basically said that he was spending money that wasn't his. Girl, you made him quit his job to depend on you and your income. Y'all did OF together. He is in your OF content. So to me, he deserves a cut of that money if you're going to put all his business like that on your OF that you're profiting off of. I'm just saying. And then she was talking about how he was such an alcoholic that it was like an issue for their marriage and everything. Like, girl, maybe not everybody knows, but I know what was going on that land. You can claim you were homesteading, but that's not homesteading. Growing cannabis is not considered homesteading. Manufacturing meth is not homesteading. It's not. But of course, she's gonna try to deflect everything and pin it all on David. Anything that's on her, she's gonna act like it wasn't her. It was all him. Even that whole situation with the USB that she claims has exploitation of minors on it. I think she was in on that because like that blind item from a while ago that Kyle Marissa Roth read, that Delusional lost her damn mind over. And then now she's making these claims that he has this stuff on a USB. What was going on in that house with those two preteens that y'all had? What were y'all doing? What were y'all filming and hoping would happen between Marissa and Jace? I mean, this is all just hearsay and just theories. You know, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just some random person. Or am I? Anyways. So she was defending him. She was doing all she could to get him, you know, defense attorneys and all of that. And then in January of 2024, Swampmates was hit with an additional felony charge of assault by strangulation, but he still had the support of Delusional and her criminal defense team until February 2024 came around. And at that time, he was not allowed to be on the land with her or in that house with her because Jace was living with her. And so he went on the boat, and I think that she wanted him to be like upset and sad and just sitting around the boat doing nothing and just, you know, waiting for all of it to blow over so they could be together again. But that's not what he did. He went out to the bars, and people, of course, were recording him in the bars and taking pictures and putting it all over social media. Which, again, is why the whole thing with Gary Waite is still questionable to me because this day and age, how has he gone this whole time with there being no proof of life of him? But I'm on a different subject. I need to just... my mind just ping-pongs. So I think when he was out in the bars and people were seeing him, that's when she got mad and was done with him. It wasn't because of what he did to Jace. It's not because of anything other than her being upset that he wasn't crying over her and not being able to be with her in the house and was out and about. That's just my theory. So then, after they split, Swampmates had to go to court and let them know he could no longer afford the private attorneys. And so they were removed from the case, and he was forced to declare himself indigent, aka living in poverty and unable to afford basic life necessities. He begged the court to assign him a public defender. In the affidavit of indigency, he filed that with the court in May of 2024 that his finances were like terrible, that he only had $106 total in all of his bank accounts, and he claimed to be nearly $49,000 in debt. I thought I said that wrong at first. But he must have found some cash because he just recently hired a private lawyer, and I think that his girlfriend is helping him pay for those lawyers. That's my opinion. He could also be using like social media money that he makes. I don't know how much he makes because that fluctuates, but I'm just speculating, you know? And the Ashley can also reveal that the state of North Carolina has already obtained several attorneys to prosecute the case against Swamp Ass. Among them is Columbus County's Chief Assistant DA, Jenna Early, who often handles cases with child physical abuse. In her previous role as the assistant DA in another county in North Carolina, Jenna worked as a special victims prosecutor focusing on adult and child sexual abuse or assaults and child physical abuse and human trafficking. So, that is the update on the case with him and Jace. So, he will be going to court soon, and I will be covering that because I am interested in what is going to happen, since, like I said, I truly believe that they're going to make Jace the problem, and he's the reason why David did that. I just don't see it going any other way for some reason. I don't see Swamp Ass getting the punishment that he deserves. But also, Delusional deserves punishment because she sat by idly and allowed him to do that. Like, the kind of person that she is like, I have an issue with this kid. Like, this is her as a parent, in a nutshell, in my thoughts. Her and her partner, whoever she's with, she's having an issue with one of the kids, and she's too annoyed and overwhelmed that she don't want to deal with it. So she makes the person that she's with handle it. And in the case with Swamp Ass, she was fine with him putting hands on her kids. I mean, we saw how he was towards Kaiser. And what's even crazier is that Kaiser seemed to really like Swamp Ass, too. Like, he would go running to him before he would even go running to Delusional. Like, she just has no maternal bone in her body. She's like the big sister that has younger siblings that she has to, like, look after, but she never wanted them. She can't stand them, doesn't want them. But she also is so narcissistic and has such a huge ego that she wants to paint a picture that she's some involved parent and loves her kids so much and that she's just so misunderstood. Girl, please. We see you for who you are. And if it's not a we, it's definitely a me, because I am seeing you for who you are. However, that is the latest update. I will be coming back, though, when I find out more updates about Swamp Ass and his court. And in between time, something else might pop up, so I might have to pop back on to give an update, because in the life of Delusional, there's always something. Always something. And she should be grateful, because I'm keeping her ass relevant by even talking about her. Anyways, y'all, I hope to see you guys on the next one. Thank you for tuning in.